and this is our plan of attack.
Banks have become an essential threat to our democracy. So consider this justice.
Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, the #1 listener-supported radio station on the internet. Please help support this station so this battle can continue forward. Revolution Radio!
Do you or someone you know suffer from poor circulation, shortness of breath, or chest pains? Are you looking for a more natural solution to help overcome these problems? People tell us that after just a few months taking Extendivite, their doctors have noticed unexplainable improvements in their overall health. For more information, visit heartdrop.com or call 1-877-928-8822.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
And tell them Nighthawk sent you, because if you call this number and tell them Nighthawk sent you, you'll get $5 off your first order at extendivite.com. Thank you. The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Insanity runs in my family. Practically gallops.
No stems, no seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is.
This is the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life. Wow, man.
Fireball, boys!
Why don't you get a job, Spicoli?
What for?
You need money.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
Welcome and thanks for tuning in to Revolution Radio. And now it's time for that feral hippie herself, an infantic, esoteric, eclectic mix of the adventures of that feral hippie, Miss Mona Radler.
What are you people? On dope?
That was my skull! I'm so wasted!
Make a move and the bunny gets it.
Dave's not here!
All right, Mona, it's all yours. Take it
away. I'm not wasted. Not yet, anyway. All right. We should be here now. We should have been here before. Did I cut in on time? Oh, come on. These seconds really do count. Where am I? Come on. Mona, where are you? Nancy, are you with me?
I am.
Why am I not hearing us? There it is. Okay, jeez. I wish I could hear the promos. I really pray every day that the AI lets me hear my promos. Welcome to freedomslips.com, revolution.radio, and Haggy Shack, and cosmicreality.net. Yes, we are Wednesdaying it. Oh, the earth is changing. All kinds of vibrations are fluctuating. So everybody hold on, but keep your hands and your legs and your arms inside the container. Unless it's a hug, then open wide. Okay. So don't forget we're listener supported. This is getting to be the end of the month. Oh my effing gosh. It's going to be 2019 real soon. It's a good thing a lot of us don't sign checks anymore because we probably wouldn't even recognize what year it is. Remember, we have seed packs and other kinds of paraphernalia you can get together to help us keep our radio stations on go, and Mike needs it ASAP, so cash is good. Welcome, Nancy.
Well, thank you for having me, Mona. Hey, you know what next week's going to be?
Some holiday that commercializes the idea that it should happen every day.
No, it'll be the day after Christmas. Isn't that the day that they run back to the stores to, what do they call it, Box Day, where they bring all their gifts back to exchange them? It's like kind of a crazy thing we're doing here.
What a thought, because I would have gone for the 50% off or more. I like the half one sales, buy one get one free or more. It's 90% off. Go ahead.
No, it's just I was stunned. Jan Shaw said to me, something about next week being near Christmas, and I'm Saturday, and I'm going, why is it close to Christmas? I had to look at the calendar, and then I'm going like, oh, my heavenly day, this year is almost gone.
Yeah.
I mean, all year long, it feels like we're 3 months ahead of what I think the calendar should be.
You got spring in your area?
Spring?
Well, that's what 3 months from now ahead would be.
No, I'm saying that to me, it feels more like we should be at the, August time frame.
Oh.
Certainly not December.
Mm-hmm.
My internal clock is saying, well, we're going at breakneck speed here. And it keeps getting faster, so I can't even imagine what 2019 is going to be. But 2018, I mean, it when we started this year, which was a couple of days ago.
I know, right?
I said, this is the year we've been waiting for. And I have to say that this year was not all I am waiting for, but it certainly was a beginning. And it was just, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, God, let me get out of this year. But not everybody, but a lot of people say that about every year. And I just look back at the year and go like, wow, all these things that have happened in this 1 year. It's a phenomenal story. I mean, if you're into stories, and that's what life about, is a bunch of stories, right. This has been 1 year for stories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got John Jr. back. John Kennedy Jr.'s back. Q did say that Q did a question and answering thing, I don't know, about 5-6 days ago. And one of the questions that I was listening to Jason Sather, I can't think of his name, Illusion, something about, okay, anyway. He's very good, and he was doing this live program because Q had just done this question and answering thing. And one of the first questions that Jason brought up was that they asked Q if the Earth was flat.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He got tickled by it, and so didn't I, but Q said no. But then they asked him about John Kennedy Jr., and he said no. And, I'm like, well, yeah, he's not going to say yes, because then that changes the entire dialogue of everything, even if it was true or not.
Right,
the only thing he could say was, no, I'm not going to tell you that, But it was really interesting to think in terms of, when did Q show up? In July was when he started to, who's this Q character,
Oh, I don't know. I think the first time I heard about it was probably on your show. I'm not really sure. I mean, the other guy you follow, oh gosh, it starts with a B. That you talk about every week.
Oh, Berra, Mike Berra, you might be talking about.
No. He always has a paper that he puts out. He's with the dragons and the hats and the... it shouldn't be slipping your mind.
Ben Fulford. Ben Fulford.
That's right. I didn't... Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Fulford. Yeah, he's fun. I enjoy listening to Walt read these things because I couldn't pronounce half of the names that are in that sucker.
Yeah, right.
You know, and what I like about Ben is the same type of thing that I like about David Wilcock. There's people out there that don't like either of these guys. They got a lot of reasons for it, I suppose, but I like both of them because I do believe I've watched them for decades, and I do believe that they are connected to people in the know, and that sometimes it's like Q says, disinformation is necessary. Sometimes Ben especially will be given information that doesn't pan out right. However, the fact the information was brought out at all gives you an indication of what's important. And so, and Ben is very open about it. He says, look, this is what I heard. I'm not telling you it's true. I'm telling you what I heard. So, and for that, I'm very grateful to both of them. They, their lives they took a hard beating with their lives.
Well, and look how many people have actually gotten in trouble for doing that. That's just so sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If not dead, I mean.
Well, that is a problem. But it got to the point that there were so many dead people that, no amount of suicides is going to explain this away. And
oh, your show yesterday was great, even though it was a replay.
Oh, the Shanghai
and the one last night too. But yeah,
yeah. Well, now did you think that I sounded very tired?
Which one?
On the Cosmic Reality Show.
Is that the nighttime or the daytime?
Yeah, the nighttime, the nighttime, with Walt.
Yeah, you seemed all right.
Yeah, because Walt asked me, he said, are you all right? You seem so tired. And I thought, I don't really feel tired, And
have you checked your generator?
Well, then Jean calls me, and I'm talking to her, and she said, you sound so tired. And I'm going like, really? And then I remembered that for the last couple of days, I've been wrapping pendants. And I'm probably so mellowed out that I'm just like, yeah, whatever, And it's this new stuff, Mona. This new cosmic shungite, silver saturated. He takes.
Is that okay? Is that the polished stuff? No.
Yeah, what he does is he takes nuggets. Okay, it started with Walt. Walt started it, and Walt got what we call structured shungite, and that comes when the rocks are tumbling. And it's not like a tumbler normally uses grit and it polishes them up, and you got tumbled shungite. This isn't what this is. This is pounded shungite. Instead of using gravel grit, they use in Walt's case, it's like pieces of metal that are actually pounding the shungite. So Derek, in his perfection and his purity, he couldn't imagine just throwing metal in with shungite. So he went out and he got silver, and he threw silver in it. So now the nuggets are getting pounded by the silver, and as it gets pounded, whether it's silver or metal, the pounding causes a vibration throughout the nugget, and that vibration causes the molecular structure to kind of jump. And as it jumps, the fullerenes begin to come into in most cases, it's a line. They just line up. Although in one case, in one nugget, they went into a square shape, which was odd because I can see at the molecular level. And I understand that sounds a little insane, but Walt says, no, this is a known thing that people can do.
Yeah.
Which I'm grateful for. But just to put the only credentials I have is my track record. And because I can see into the molecular and the quantum areas and then tell Walt what I'm seeing, Walt then devises experiments to be able to try to determine in a 3D environment what the heck was she seeing. And he does, and then out of that come products. The products have have made the test of time. We're out here for 4.5 years, and we keep getting bigger. So,
can I ask you a question before I forget?
Sure.
Does your phone have photo options? Can I send you pictures?
Not the phone number you called on. No, it'd have to be
Okay.
my cell number. I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. Because otherwise, I took pictures of the mint that's been growing under this smart meter, but it's got the Band-Aid for the the meter system and
The
the
smart
circuit
meter.
breakers.
The smart meter. Yeah.
Right. And there's no other mint or plants looking these beautiful, so I had to prove it to you. So I took pictures on my phone.
That's the thing about the shungite. That every time we turn around, shungite's doing something more. And initially, when I started playing with the nuggets, that was the first stuff I had. It was to attenuate or change the electric system in your house. That's all I was focused on, was the electric system, because that in and of itself is not a good thing at all. So when the nuggets by themselves could attenuate or change the way that the electric field was spinning, so that it's no longer contrary to what is natural spin of life, but it's now biocompatible. So that in of itself was huge. All right. But then we realized that every time you have a secondary motor, like your hairdryer, when you turn that on, dang, you're back in that negative rotating field because there's a new motor involved. So you have to put a sticker. You have to put a sticker on that. So it's like your clock radio, you wouldn't, because there's not another secondary motor involved in it. So you have to kind of look at your house and say, where do I have a secondary motor? Like technically your washing machine and your dryer should have good electricity, attenuated electricity to it. But as soon as you turn it on, secondary motor, boom, bad stuff again. So put stickers on there, or at least nuggets. The stickers are just easier to work with. You stick it on the dang thing and you forget about it. When you change out to the next one, pull it off and put it on the new one. These things are not, you don't need to replace them, recharge them, nothing. It's just, they're forever, because they're linked at the quantum level, into the quantum field. Whole science involved in that I won't go into right now. But the thing of it is that when you get into the Wi-Fi, you need a step up, and the step up is the silver saturated stuff. Okay, so that's why we keep kind of like going to the silver and mixing it with the shungite, because at the quantum level, and I can't exactly explain why, but at the quantum level, when you're using regular shungite, it's a pulsing thing. It's like the door to the quantum opens and shuts, so you get a pulse, which works fine with an electric system that's got a specifically simple frequency. Look at it on a chart, it looks like a sine wave, up and down, hills and valleys. But when you're dealing with Wi-Fi, you're dealing with a much more complicated signal in and of itself. And you've got these things called square waves. Well, to bust a square wave, you don't, if you pulse it, the pulse starts to do the change, and then boom, it stops and it bounces back. So you need a wave that is continual, and that's what the silver does. It opens up the quantum door and just lets this quantum energy just pour in. So S4 is so much more powerful as far as energy work is. And so we've got the S4 out there, and he's throwing nuggets now into this tumbler with all this silver.
Neat.
And when I got it, it was like the first time he sent it to me, I just a lot of times I have to be in the right mood, so to speak, or the right place and space. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times when they send me this stuff, I put them aside, and I don't work with them until I'm, drawn to work with them.
That's and right. So, use the universe's law, carry no extra burdens, man.
So I finally get to work with this thing, and it is okay. Because it's got the S4, it protects you from the Wi-Fi, just like the S4 resin pendant does. Because it's wrapped it's also bringing orgone into the shungite field, which at that level works with the 3D. It helps balance your bioelectromagnetic fields, as does a raw pendant. If you just take a raw pendant, not been touched, and is wrapped, that particular pendant is a frequency that works directly with your electromagnetic body that is essentially an etheric construct, because the etheric's the blueprint for the human body. So it's working at frequencies in the etheric field. All right. But when you do this thing with this pounding thing on top of the silver thing, you've got something that not only does it align the bioelectromagnetic field at the 3D/etheric, it connects you and balances you to all your multidimensional bodies.
Neat.
And it is incredibly powerful. Now, especially when they're wrapped. He sells nuggets. He's got nuggets for sale. They're very expensive. These things, they tumble for 3 days in silver. You know, you can't find them anyplace else. But the other thing is that these are devices of very intense energies. However, it's based on shungite. So they're expensive, and if you go and you buy one, you go bring it home and you go, well, this isn't anything different than, you know, well, it may be that you can't turn it on, because these will only work with people who have a certain energy field to begin with, to be able to work with these things and to turn them on to their ultimate connection between just putting out a frequency that resonates through your multidimensional bodies until they all sync to the one sound. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. To me it does, but then that's my structure.
Right. So anyway, I spent a couple of days wrapping a lot of those things, and I think that I just got so blissed out.
Cool.
You know, it's like, oh, whatever, you know.
Nothing that a good joint can't help.
Right.
Oh.
Well, but you know, it's an amazing thing to understand the real magic behind the shungite, because yes, it does all these wonderful things that seem magical, but magic is just the manipulation of energy, and energy manipulation is a science. And don't get weirded out by the word manipulation. Manipulation is just harnessing.
It's like a massage, man. Let the pain go.
I mean, we can take electricity, which is electromagnetic. It's magnetic and electric fields, but nobody can tell you where those things come from. You know, they can't explain the actual, well, an electric field, they can tell you how they created, but there's so much about the universe that the 3D mainstream accepted media, accepted science can get to if they don't go to the energy. It's all energy. Once you start thinking in terms of the universe being an energy field and how energy plays with itself, Einstein said, you know, at some point we're going to figure it out, that there is no matter, it's energy in relationship to itself. And that's exactly what the quantum physics have brought to the table. But the metaphysicians have been talking about it for thousands of years.
Yeah, but they were outlawed.
Sure, because nobody wants you to know the truth, because if you know the truth, then you're going to know how powerful you are. And they don't want you knowing that. That's a no-no.
Well, I'm thankful that I found that just a long time ago. I mean, I had to be 25, which astrologically should be the time that all of us get to the idea of what is the reality behind what's being created. I'm not saying it happened all overnight, because I would have had a fried brain. But when books fall off of shelves into your lap, which are just like some of the subjects you were covering, and other angel miracles of sorts would happen around you. It's like, who am I? I was on birth control with Crystal. And the thing is, I guess the universe says I better let this kid through. And she's done the best that she could. She's done more than so many other humans just for the idea of the pleasure of life. And she's a grandma now at 40. So.
Would that make you a great grandma?
Yeah. At 60.
Oh my God.
And they're not close to me, so it's not like I have to be the grandma. So my granddaughter is so well taken care of with that baby. And it's not even by blood, it's by family of marriage of her baby's sister. So my granddaughter is so blessed. And I'm blessed because I don't want to have to deal with this stuff unless I have lots of space and a place to run and hide to.
Yeah, those little things can be intimidating.
No, well, but I was the mother, Nancy, that everybody would bring their children to because they knew they could trust that I am a decent human being to have watched even their newborns and infants and that. So we're at our first break. We shall be right back. Okay, whoops. Why did that just happen? Why did that just happen? Huh. Hopefully we'll steer here, but why did that do that?
I'm here.
Okay, but we're on break, but that little box went away. You know that little box?
Listen,
but we're here again. It's showing we're here. I think.
Right
it's
back.
calling.
Message.
Okay, it looks like we're here. We'll see what happens. Whoa.
What the heck?
Well,
is
I'm
the
going for a
Truth
quick
Jihad?
smoke. I'll be right
Hey, I'm
back.
Kevin Barrett, host of Truth Jihad Radio. Federal prosecutors, Department of Homeland Security agents, and curious passersby often ask me, just what is this Truth Jihad thing anyway? Well, everybody knows what truth is, but jihad is a misunderstood term. Jihad means effort or struggle. The greater jihad is the struggle to be a better person, while the lesser jihad is the struggle to defend the community. Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, did say that the best jihad is a word of truth flung in the face of a tyrant. And that's what we do here at Truth Jihad Radio. Every Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, 5 to 7 Pacific, right here on Revolution Radio.
We talk about decentralization and bank annihilation. Bitcoin, Litecoin, MyCoin, your coin, blockchain, baby. Mondays at 1600 hours Eastern, Studio A.
Find some comfort at Willow's World. A variety of news, commentary and poetry at Willow's Poetry Corner, where there are comfy cushions and a tempting selection of delectable comestibles. A show that's quirkily and quintessentially British, with a unique twist featuring Willow Andreasen, your host. Join Willow Mondays and Thursdays 2 till 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Studio A.
Do you or someone you know suffer from poor circulation, shortness of breath, or chest pains? Are you looking for a more natural solution to help overcome these problems? People tell us that after just a few months taking Extendivite, their doctors have noticed unexplainable improvements in their overall health. For more information, visit heartdrop.com or call 1-877-928
Skype is playing peculiar. It's just one of those, okay, well, what's really happening?
Call this
Because I
number
know
and
you
tell them
put
Nighthawk sent you,
something,
you'll get $5 off your first
in the
order at
chat.
extendedbite.com.
but not really.
The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs,
Okay.
and its website by the
All right,
hosts,
so we
guests,
still
and
have a
call-in
moment
listeners
or
or
two.
chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com,
I can hear it.
100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Well, when Mike used to do the YouTubes, he would cut out all the promos because YouTube would accept them better. But he doesn't do that anymore. He just archives them. You know, and I don't blame him. That's all right by me. I always get a copyright every video I put out. It's like, gosh, they own every effing thing. I don't like that. But people love it. They know it's live radio. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, my little jobby do isn't coming up. Isn't that funny? Oh, gosh. It's almost paranoying me. But I know we're on. All right.
I guess that's what matters.
Yeah, I've had shows like that before where things just seem to disappear and they want me to freak out. And I'm like going, I know it's being archived. And if I went to chat, somebody would tell me, Mona, I can't hear you. You know, and they usually tell me, Mona, you're talking over the promo. Well, people in chat have probably heard all the promos. And not to say they aren't good promos. They are very good promos. Oh, I like your promos, too. You do such a good job on your videos.
Oh, I've got so much more to do, but, you know, it's just, well, we changed over the business. And I'm telling you, he's coming up with product after product of Shungite. I always started to tell you that when you got an electric system and you have where you plug in the things, you know, and you unplug it, well, there's still electricity coming through that into a field of electricity of energy into your out to 4 to 6 feet into the environment. So we knew that it was attenuated, but you still got this force, but now it's not harming you anymore. But it's a force of energy. So as we worked with the Shungite, we realized like the phones were where I first noticed it, but I didn't say anything to anybody because it sounded a little bit ludicrous. Because I'm always telling how dangerous the phones are, and yet I'm saying that, well, if you put a Shungite sticker on it, now it's a healing thing. Because it's the sticker has attenuated the signal, and it's also radiating Shungite off your phone. But I still don't feel comfortable saying that, even though I just said it. Even though others have said the same thing. Because I just have such a awfulness about the phone. Maybe I'm missing something, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the electric field coming into your house, when you take the cover plates that he's got up now we went with a version of it. They had no durability. So now what he's done is he's just bought commercial manufactured cover plates,
right,
which cuts down on the price. And then in the back of them, I'm not sure if he's using the paint or he's got this new thing that he's using, but he's putting the Shungite S4 powder on the back. Yeah, I think it's the S4 on the back of it. And then you just take the old one off and put the new one in.
Well, I've got my room completely in those, but is he doing the light ones too, or is he going to sell the ingredients separate?
No, it's because all you do is like you can get the paint. You can take off the ones you've got if you so to desire. Buy the paint; it's for sale in the store. Buy the paint, and then you take off the ones you got and put a dab of paint. Just a dab.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
And then you can put those back on. That's an acceptable way of doing it. But now what happens? Either you buy them because that's what we started with. You can do this, but people don't. I don't want to mess with it. You're selling okay. So either way, you can do it yourself, or you can, buy them pre-made from us and just take out the screw, put the new one in, put the screw back in. Boom, done. Now, this is one way that you get shungite into a family's home that don't believe in it. Like I get grandmothers all the time saying to me, my daughter doesn't believe in this stuff, and I'm afraid for my grandchild, And this is sort of a secretive way of doing it. Oh, I'll babysit, and while you're babysitting, you change out all their...
I love it, subliminal.
Or at least one, so you don't have to do every one.
Right? Here, I'm cleaning for you. Thank you. And that's it. The daughter or son will go, okay. Let me ask you 1 second here.
Sure.
I'm on the page of the store now. Do I go through the Shungite Advanced Energy Devices? Is that the column his paint will be in?
Yes, probably. I'm looking to see where I don't even have it.
Okay, rubber pad, which I really, really think everybody should have the rubber pad. Mine got flipped over somehow, and I had 3 of the worst nights ever. And I'm like, I'm turning my pad over. And I did, and now I've had 3 gorgeous nights of sleep. Okay.
Yeah, there does seem to be an energy flow through those things. But it's how the person feels, Sometimes you want the energy to be taken out. You got negativity in it, so it's... Okay, so what I'm looking for is...
Oh, I don't see it.
Oh, shungite outlet covers. It's at the bottom. It says new, but he's got it way down at the bottom. Shungite outlet covers.
Huh.
On the left-hand side.
I know, but mine only goes to Shungite Advanced Energy Device.
Try reloading the page. It might be remembering the page.
Huh.
He just put it up. I don't know when he put it up. I'm putting it in chat here, so I'm putting it in chat.
Well, maybe I need to go back to the Shungite store and start over. Okay.
Or just go to the Haggy Shack. The link is up.
Oh, okay, that would help. But you've got whole house kits. I mean, that's the best part.
Oh, yes. We've decided that
we good. Want to... Did you see the question that Dolly asked? It's up there. It says, Nancy, is there a way to test oneself to see if you've been compatible to that shungite, which is the silver gridded shungite tumbled? Before spending the money and then finding out it won't work? Well, it all works, Dolly. You know that.
My basic thing to anybody is look at the picture. The picture's carrying the energy. And if you are feeling an affinity towards it, then, and if it doesn't work, send it back to us. It's a money-back guarantee.
Coming soon. Protective light switch covers. Okay. I don't see paint, though, so he hasn't put it in.
Oh, that's right. We're looking for the paint. I forgot we were looking for the paint. I forgot what we were looking for.
Well, to me, it sounds like a fingernail polish kind of doohickey.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't smell like it, Oh, my gosh. I can't even go near one of those places because of the chemical assault. But I love my plate covers. Yeah, they seemed a little, but, if you're got something that might be fragile, just be ginger with it. People are so harsh with things. Oh, I'm sure that's why they felt flimsy. But, yeah, I'm looking at 2 light switches right now. I would love to be able to put a thing on them. I'd actually love to paint my room because I've got a half a gallon of shungite paint. And I know if I put just... one nice area, thinly, and then another area on top.
Okay, I found the paint, but this is not this.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, now you said paint. Now you want the powder for crying out loud.
Oh no, just give me the paint. Okay, yeah, now I want powder.
Okay, all righty, we can do this. I know we can do this. The powder is easy. It's under the bee thing, shungite bees. Shungite bees, yes, here we go. Under shungite bees is the powder.
It was just like a fingernail polish thing. Oh, that's so funny.
Yep, exactly.
Go ahead.
Now, the powder, you can take, this powder goes a long way. So you can take this powder and you can put it in. All right, here's the powder link. Gosh, I'm actually working with chat. You know I can't normally do this. Oh, I'm not producing. You're producing. I'm not. That's why.
Right, see?
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay, so the powder, you can buy that and you can put like just, I don't even know, it's 15 grams and it's like you only need a little bit in any gallon of powder to make it a shungite.
You mean paint?
The paint. No, I'm talking about the powder. You can mix it with any acrylic paint, any water-based
but
paint.
What I'm saying is, you're saying it's the same amount as what the nuggets are for the router, aren't you?
You can take this paint, okay, which is S4. It's got S4 in it, and you can paint your router. You can put a dab on your router. You can use this throughout your house on your electronics. However, the chances are it's going to rub off. Okay, that's why we say, you can do it, but, it might rub off. We don't know. There's no longevity to that kind of usage of it.
Right.
What we're suggesting you use it for is the places where we can't provide you with an S4 sticker. They're just too big. So in this case, like for instance, those earplug that you put in your ears, that's got the wire, those things, and the Bluetooth things. Now you've got the ability to put a dab of this stuff, this shungite powder, but now contained within paint. See, the key is the shungite powder. In one case, is the delivery system is a sticker, and in this case, it's the paint. And it's very, very thick with the powder. This paint is. When you put powder into like you're going to paint a room, you don't need it that thick. So you can use just the powder, and I forget what the formula is.
You should have seen all the flow of uses in my head. I'm thinking bisque ceramics and, oh gosh, all kinds of things.
Well, he's also come out with a shungite ink. And what this is, he's got this nifty ink pen, right? And it's like a fountain pen, like the old-fashioned fountain pens.
Aww.
And he's got the shungite ink. And he says, use it for signing checks. You put a shungite signature on your checks, and Christmas cards and birthday cards, and for artists that might want to try getting into ink.
Pen and ink, right? Cool. Yeah. Ooh, tattoos.
Now I'm going to use it to autograph my books.
There you go. I don't see why not.
The pen's in the mail. But I actually got the pen for my friend Cindy, who did the Gaia Madonna logo that you see associated with me.
Uh-huh.
She did that. I asked her, I said, I know you don't normally use ink, but would you be interested? And she said yes. So that's what I'm getting her.
Aww.
But before I give it to her, I'm going to sign with the books I've got here in shungite ink.
There you go. Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to tell you, we've decided that we're going to give your listeners, okay, and you, a gift, a holiday gift, let's call it. And if anybody goes to our store and they use the code MONA, M-O-N-A, KIT, K-I-T, MONA KIT, they can get 10% off the environmental kit. Now, the environmental kit, I'm not sure what the price is now. It's under $120, I think. But if you get this and you just do what we tell you, it's got a magnet in it. It's got 3 S4 stickers for your electronics. It's got a smart sticker that you put on your fuse box so that you, from the source, all attenuate the signals and attenuate the smart meter signal. And what else is in there? The magnet for the refrigerator. So this will give you your basic shungite environment. And they get a 10% off that price, whatever it is, when they use that coupon code, MONA KIT. In one word, Mona Kit. And Mona, when they order, no matter what they order or how much they order, we're going to gift you 15% of every retail sale.
Oh, well, that's kind of sweet.
And this is good forever. Anybody that hears this, happens to be on YouTube or you hit it in an archive or something, know that that's anybody listening to Mona can do that, and you can repeat it. Every time you make an order from us, just put the same code in, and she'll get 15 back, and you'll get 10 off your environmental kit.
Well, I swear to this kit, because we did Linda's house when the other person was in the group, and basically it changed everything, and it's changed everything in Karen's house. And this one I'd really like to have more of this house, but I'm just doing myself. I'm going to be selfish. That's why I got the plates and the things like that, because this stuff really works. And I'm just so excited, like I told you earlier, that I walk into the store and it's a nice little business, but they deserve to have better energies and better power bills, smaller power bills. It's all been proven. And just that the taste of the food lasts longer. And how can you deny that you're not worth saving some bucks for something else or something? If it didn't work, I wouldn't be a part of this, because I am so skeptical.
Well, yeah, and it's like I tell people, I don't care if you save money on your electric bill or not. That's not what I'm in it for. I'm in it to get you safe. And it's not like, okay, so in the beginning, I've got these ideas. I know a lot about electromagnetics and all this stuff because of my history and blah, blah. But I'm looking at this and I'm going like, I've been in the mineral business for a long time, decades. And inevitably, this, Mona. Something comes along and everybody goes, oh, you got to have this, and so it becomes a rage, and then it lasts for, if you're lucky, maybe 6 to 8 months, and then it starts to fall off again. And when I first got introduced to shungite, I realized, I'm like 4 months out before this thing goes haywire trending. And so I jumped on the I know I've got it first, type of thing, because then you're positioned a little bit better because your credibility is going to be better. You're not just following the crowd. You started it, and I had the voice on the radio. So I was in this the universe had manipulated my life to be in this perfect place to be able to bring a new visibility to shungite. And at the time that I met it, there were 2 vendors that were just doing the nuggets here in the States, and there was one vendor that was doing jewelry, shungite jewelry, and that was it. Now, if you're anybody, you're wanting to deal this particular product, shungite, and it never dropped off, Mona. It just keeps getting more and more popular. I've never seen anything go this long and only, keep teaching us more and doing more. And it's not like we don't have scientific backup for this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. When
do.
I saw the woman put her iPhone or whatever you call these things up to her head, I about freaked. And I'm like, gosh, I don't have any Band-Aids on me, because I just don't want to think people are in pain. And the other guy who got a small rock for his water, he got 3. But he basically is saying that the 5G, he must have it on his pole, because he's just like so irritable before his body finally feels like it could sleep. And he doesn't always wake up feeling better. So it's rather interesting. I want to get this stuff out there because people deserve to feel better.
And it's so simple.
Yeah, that too. I know, but you and I like rocks. And some people, it should be like change, but they don't even carry that change. I don't carry change for long.
Yeah, he's Derek is he just keeps putting out more and more. And then, the honey products have also come into the store.
Yeah, I keep bragging about the honey too, and
whatever this salve is that she makes, his wife Maureen,
the gray one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and the lip balm, it's very similar, and it's more of the packaging, but I think, but those things are just so popular, and he's now got some Oregon. I don't even know what he's calling them. To be honest with you, I can't keep up with what he's doing. I've never. I swear. I mean, I think maybe there's at least three additional clones or versions of him, because I keep thinking, how can this one person be doing all this?
Because creativity doesn't count for time; it counts for the product being finished.
Well, and he's also got the facilities to.
His workplace.
It's unbelievable because, when it was funny because when he and Maureen started knowing that they had to move because they were renting that property, and I think I don't know what it was, but they had to move from that property. And so they started, hunting. And I'm going like, no, don't hunt. Let the prey come to you.
Right.
Open up your mind to the fact that the universe will make whatever is yours available because it's already yours in the future anyway.
And to the highest and best interest for all.
Yes. Well, I see. I sort of like. I'm not going to worry about for all because I just want my reality to be mine reality.
Right.
And I've learned that when we say that reality is what you think it is, it comes with a responsibility if you understand that phrase. So in my reality, I want everybody to be full of joy and happy. But in other people's reality, that's not going to ever happen. It's just not part of what they can even conceive of.
Right.
Right? So if they're mucking around in my reality, I'm going to make them change in my reality. They can stay in that other reality of theirs if they want, but in mine, you're going to change.
All right.
And so you take away the free will, but the free will of you in my reality. If you want your own free will, go back to your own reality. It's complicated.
Oh, you're just lucky you live by yourself, Nancy. I live with 4 adults that don't mind drinking and doing all kinds of stuff. So yes, I definitely have my own reality, and their reality is changing.
Well, that's the key. Is that whatever if you put the energy into your own reality, and your own reality is a good one, is something that other people resonate with. The fact that it's there, they begin to get stronger in their reality, which is really another version of yours. We're agreeing with the basics, You don't need to be in want. There's plenty to go around. You're co-creators of the universe.
Exactly.
And Shungite links you to the infinite power of the quantum field. And it's not just the fact that we've got these nuggets and we got pendants and we got magnets and all this nice stuff. We've got Shungite in the minds of people. When I first started out, it was an interesting phenomena that I saw and others people saw too, was that when you would be in a room full of people and you start talking to somebody and you say the word Shungite, everybody in the room starts listening to what you're saying. Because Shungite was even in the beginning, before it got known, Shungite is some kind of a trigger word in the cosmic consciousness of humanity. And so when you come from it from the standpoint of you're really working for something that is already known. People know this. It's got a frequency of, I know you. You feel good. The other thing people would do is if you went to hand them like a sticker or a nugget, they wouldn't just reach out and take it from you. They had to grab. They would grab.
Or they would be in fear and pull their hand away because there's so much untrust out there.
Not really. Those people wouldn't get near you.
Well, no, I ask people, do you like rocks? And that's how I know if I'm going to go forward or not. But then again, every person's different, because I can say, would you hold out your hand? And they will. And then I could hand it to them. So they've already been in the trust part. But it's rather interesting how many different kind of reactions and things like that.
And I told you about the muscle testing, because one of the ways that it's, you know, it's funny how things sort of come out in their own time. One of the ways that shungite was being tested originally was muscle testing, which is a very effective way of testing something that's good for you or bad for you, and because your body knows, and your body is an energy field. So what happens is that, you know, like they put a phone in your hand, and, you know, then you put your other arm out, and the person working with you is pushing down on it, and you're trying to push up, and you can feel how strong your arm is or isn't. Mm-hmm. And then you put the sticker on it and you try the same thing. Well, your arm is going to be very strong. It works every time with any of the products, but I never thought about teaching it to people, so that instead of us trying to convince somebody of a black stone that's going to be worth more than its weight in gold, you know, it's the medicine of the 21st century. What are you talking about? This type of thing, you know, doesn't need to be discussed, and you don't even have to know what the science is. All you have to do is say, I want to show you something, and you do that.
I think we're at the top of the hour, so you shall come back to that.
Well, it's 2:56.
Right.
Okay.
Which is the top of the hour by these means.
Okay. All right, just check it in.
Oh, I get you, yeah. Okay, come on, Skype, what are you doing? Oh, what a game we are being played. We'll be right back.
Listen to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hello, all you good-looking people out there in Revolution Radio. This is Mario. I invite you to join me Thursdays at 6 o'clock for This, That, and the Other. It's a show about you, it's a show about me, but ultimately it's a show where we try to have a little bit of fun. We discuss important topics, and we do our best to be apolitical. So I invite you, put on your favorite pair of comfy sweats, your smoking jacket, and grab a beverage of your choice, and join me Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock for This, That, and the Other on Revolution Radio.
Enter into a world unseen on Raven Star's Witching Hour. You will encounter eclectic topics from the realm of spirit brought into our matrix of truth. With your host, the Solaris Blue Raven. Solaris will bring you an array of unique guests covering topics from ghostly spirits to amazing anomalies, covert technology, UFOs, and shadowy global events.
And that's right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Saturdays, midnight till 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
Let the magic rise.
Do you or someone you know suffer from poor circulation, shortness of breath, or chest pains? Are you looking for a more natural solution to help overcome these problems? People tell us that after just a few months taking Extendivite, their doctors have noticed unexplainable improvements in their overall health. For more information, visit heartdrop.com or call 1-877-928-8822.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
And tell them Nighthawk sent you, because if you call this number and tell them Nighthawk sent you, you'll get $5 off your first order at extendovite.com. Thank you. The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Welcome back to FreedomSlips.com, Revolution.radio, Anarchy Jack, and CosmicReality.net. Remember, we are listener supported, so do the donate click, And if you come to the wall, and we're in chat, you can click an ad, and it'll help collect some cents, so then we can keep the other advertisers off air, so we don't have to take up our moments. Anyway, welcome back, Nancy. Oh, did I lose her?
No, I just wasn't unmuted. Because I suddenly realized that I hadn't gone to the store to put in the coupon code. So that's what I'm doing now. Anyway, yes, I'm back.
All right. I get that. That is just so scary to know that I'm supposed to be doing my show and that little icon isn't there. And I know we're live because I listen to us. So it's like, oh gosh. One of them days, good old Neptune's messing around in my Pisces. I see that. I think a lot of that people really are looking for an open out, though. And I don't want to say Shungite is an open out because you and I both know that if you wear a pendant, there might be certain things that people don't realize their feelings may be. So, is that true?
Say that again. I'm trying.
Okay, remember.
Oh, the pendants. If you look at the pictures of the pendants and the energy that you get off of them, it's what you're being drawn to.
Okay.
You know, the first thing I suggest people do is go for what money you feel comfortable spending. Don't look at the others. You know, and then just focus on, look at them. When you get a feeling in your stomach, is this for me? Yes or no? Yes. Oh, I feel good. No, I don't feel so good. So just until you find the one that you resonate with. And then, buy it.
What are the testimonials after some of the people have bought the pendants?
Most people, we sell so many of them, but there's not that many people that come back and actually talk to you about it.
Oh.
They give you a testimonial, but there are people who have never taken them off.
Yeah, I don't.
Now, if you do come across one and you've been wearing it for a while and it seems to get loose, it may be that just because you've been wearing it so long that there is a certain the shungite might be flaking off. And the only reason I'm saying this is because the bees, when they went in and out of the hive,
right,
they were rubbing up against the nuggets. And in just the one season, these nuggets, because they also glued the nuggets to the hive. They didn't want it to go anywhere. But they're rubbing up against it. And over that very short, 3-month time frame, the nuggets had been like sculptured, so they were in the shape of mountains, little mountains. So if that's happening, of course you got 50,000 bees on that hive going in and out. But if you're wearing it, you may just have a problem that the wire seems to be getting looser, but it may be that the nugget itself is, actually getting smaller. So if anybody has that problem, just contact me. And if you pay the postage, I'll rewrap it for you.
There you go. I still love the stickers that are all for the electric boxes, because they do work. That's the best part I like about it, and finding out about all this, because it's like The Rock loves silver. So that's an interesting, because it was one of the first antibiotics kind of thing, born with a silver spoon, like you have the luck of the Irish kind of thing.
Well, the thing about the silver is that you've heard of silver soldering. Mm-hmm. They use it in electronics. But the problem with it is that the silver will actually leave the solder and start going other places. Oh. That's why they like gold. Because gold doesn't do that. So that was how we discovered that what happened was that this friend of mine had a copper wire, silver coated. Okay, so it was real silver on top of copper. And I'm looking at her on Skype. I said, "What happened to your pendant?" And she said, "I meant to tell you, all the silver's gone from it." And that's when I got with Walt and said, "What could have possibly explained this?" And he told me about this migration thing that silver does. So then Walt gets it in his head, and he takes colloidal silver and he drops a bunch of shungite nuggets in there. And sure enough, the silver within 24 hours was now in the nuggets because they migrated into the shungite field. So we knew about this. How
could he tell?
Because the coloring in the colloidal silver solution was gone. It was complete pure water.
Oh, that's cool.
So, and he does all sorts of other things. He's not somebody that just, like I say, well, I think it's like this, Walt says, no, I have to experiment, I have to prove it. Right. So if Walt thinks something, then, trust his opinion more so than mine. Mine's sort of like, oh, I think that, of course, he listens to me and then he makes these things, so it all works.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I was going to tell you something about that. Oh, so then Derek is gone and he's taken it one step further. He is in the process right now of tumbling gold in with his shungite. He got a bunch of gold leaf and I don't know what else. It's very, very costly, let's put it that way. But he wanted to know what would happen with the gold. And he put in, I think he said like 15 sheets of that. It's almost like gold foil, that type of thing.
It's gold leaf, yeah.
Gold leaf, thank you. And what happened was as soon as it touched the shungite, instead of just sort of laying there, it went what? And just attached itself, like molded itself around the shungite nuggets.
It like melted itself.
Yeah, he said it virtually disappeared. He said I should have videoed it.
Yeah.
Well, who knew it was going to happen like that,
Yeah, well, that's what I know. I should have.
He's making some of this gold tumbled stuff. He's not making much of it because part of the problem is that we run through these tumblers rather frequently. Because they're not really designed to be pounded. It's, softly in the sand kind of stuff.
Right.
So they have to be careful about how much they load in there and,
Oh, yeah, I was into lapidary for a while. I had a tumbler going, and it was like too much noise for me.
Oh, and the noise, yeah. But I started to tell you, so I had said to Derek, wait for the universe to bring you what you're supposed to have. And sure enough, they get this beautiful piece of property that at the time he had no idea that he was about to become Cosmic Reality LLC. but it's got like 4 buildings on it that can be used for production and taking care of the bees. And he's got more than enough. Like, it was like, okay, it was the universe gave him more than what he needed at the time, only because he would need it in a very short period of time.
Yeah, no duh, right? I love that kind of stuff. I really do.
It's amazing. I was talking to him earlier about that, how, fortunate we are that we have that facility there. And there's a picture. I couldn't get it loaded up. I was trying to show somebody. But he sent me a picture of Darrington, where the apiary is, where he lives.
Right.
Oh my God, what a magical looking place. It's just this little city village thingy in the middle of the Cascade Mountains, and it was just a gorgeous picture. I've got to get that up on the
gingerbread.
Website.
Is that what you're talking about?
It was just gorgeous. It is gorgeous. And so I got to get that up there so people can see where it is that all this happens, because it is truly a magical place.
It seems like it. And he needed that escape because, the way things have been, a lot of doors have been closing because of idiot behavior, and new ones opening because the creativity just got room because it wasn't being filled with the negative. So that's what I like too. So, you just let it go, let it happen, and try not to force issues in anywhere, because that just doesn't prove much of anything. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
So it's a cherished life. I don't know why people don't see it or don't feel it. I just don't, because I'm having a blast right now. We had the Charlie Brown Christmas tree show up. Oh, he spent $25. You're supposed to just unfold it and it turns on, right? Oh, God. No. So the poor thing had to be raped of all its unbroken lights, or its broken lights. So we had to undo every single, 600 effing lights. And hope the lights that we had would be enough. Well, of course they weren't. And I started it, but somebody had to come along and supposedly finish it, and it was a worse Charlie Brown Christmas tree. So I've been working on 3 days of fixing the Christmas tree. I've had enough. But I'm the kind of person that somebody says, well, Merry Christmas. I says, oh, yeah, you're going to share the consciousness with the masses? I go on from there, because that's what Christmas to me is. It should be every day. Are you talking to people? Are you trying to bring a new reality that's actually an old one into processing, or whatever? So I have fun when I go out. I'm almost dangerous.
You must be very irritating.
Irritating to where people love me. Really?
Well, because, the thing of it is that it could be considered irritation by some people, but the reality is everybody knows you're telling them the truth. They just don't want to hear it. And if we don't stand up and tell them the truth, even if they don't want to hear it, we're failing our job.
Well, I don't keep my mouth shut when I have something to say, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, like that.
I trust my oversoul enough to know that I'm not going to get myself in trouble, because I'm disciplined and honored and, just happy to be on this field trip. Because you don't want to fight with somebody who knows how to fight. I might look just like a feral hippie, but hey, I've been a street urchin a few times, things like that. So never assume. And I have the power of knowing on my side. So I think that's what the AI can't fathom. And that show, when you were talking about that, it was just like, yeah, I agree with you. I don't want some artificial situation, but I've only had 3 of those occurrences today. We can't stop it, Nancy. I don't believe we can stop it.
Can't believe we can not stop what?
The AI.
Oh, I do.
Well,
I absolutely do. Well, we beat them in the Borg situation with Star Trek. That's what I meant to ask Walt. How did they finally get Picard out of the Borg?
Oh, I couldn't watch those.
Well, you know, it's funny. A lot of us couldn't, but now I know why we couldn't, because they were, you know, basically telling us what they were intending to do. The basic problem with that the AI has with biological life is biological life. They can do so much, you know, giving you a new limb and doing, you know, giving you new kidneys and all this stuff. But this concept of uploading a consciousness into a matrix of electronics just isn't going to work. I mean, right now, if you take a human being and you put them in space for not very long, they begin to go crazy because their brain is designed to work in the bioelectromagnetic field of Earth itself.
Right.
So now and this we found out with the cosmonauts during in the beginning of space travel, the long duration, these people, I mean, I heard some horror stories about what happened up there. And it turned out that it was because they were outside of the energy field of Earth. So now all manned, and for a very long time, decades, every manned vehicle has to have a Schumann resonance. And that it generates the Schumann energy field of Earth so that people can think right. So now if you need to have a Schumann resonance to think right, how are you going to get that into a AI? Are you going to artificially put it there? All it's going to do is work with the conscious mind, the brain. It's not going to, you know, be working on the consciousness that is simply an energy field, an etheric energy field. So I don't think in the end it'll work. Of course, then you got the clone things. You know, they claim that it's already working. You got clones.
Well, yeah. Well, you guys were talking Kissinger last night. Anyway.
Oh my God, that guy has just been around forever.
Yes, I remember that. But that could almost make you think of Madeleine Albright too. I mean, there was quite a few interesting characters during those times.
That's her name. I couldn't remember her name. Madeleine Albright. Yeah.
Yeah, her and Reagan.
No, not her name. It was the reporter that was there at the same time frame. It's the reporter's name.
Baba Waters.
No. I wonder how she's doing.
Oh, I don't know. How do you trust any of it? Who was it that just supposedly died? Oh, yesterday somebody sent me a thing saying we'll miss her. Was it Laverne and Shirley? One of the.
Well, Betty White's the only one that's still up, right?
It seems like it.
Yeah, but you know, there's an ad out there. We're going to miss her, and you know, I've clicked on it a couple of times thinking somebody died, and it turned out to be an ad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these.
Oh, this wasn't an ad. This was a literal link.
Well,
which was interesting.
We could Google it. I'll Google it. Let me see if I can Google it.
Because that was really one of the only real actress roles she ever played, but everybody would remember her.
What was the name of the series?
She was Rob Reiner's wife.
What was it?
Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley?
Mm-hmm. It was a TV sitcom for the longest time. They worked in a brewery. And they liked to go bowling and things like that. I mean, they really were trying to classify the human being. At least that's what I think all the soap operas are for.
Oh, it's Penny Marshall.
Penny Marshall. So does it say she passed away?
Dead at 75.
Yeah. So that was something. And well, I guess we know that's true.
Yep. Well, 75. in this timeline.
Right. Right. Oh, 75 is pretty young, even though it's pretty old.
Well, yeah. You know, it's,
we don't know the stresses of her life, you know.
Well, 75 used to be a common age. I mean, my grandparents were dead by then, by 72. It wasn't, you know, I mean, my aunt's like 91 now. The rest of the family's all gone, passed over, but no, it's a weird thing, this getting older.
Yeah, it is. Even though I still feel like myself. Thank goodness. I never did feel like somebody else. Go ahead.
I have fun with telling people that I'm 70 years old because it gives me credibility.
Well, maybe to a degree.
I mean, I've been around here, you young ones. Done that.
You really have.
Well, but it also is one of those things where it's sort of like I'm laughing about it because it seems so surreal. I'm 70 years old. What's that about? I mean, I don't feel any different than. I'll tell you this. I'll make a testimonial to Shungite that I'm much healthier now than I was 15 years ago.
Cool.
I mean, I had all sorts of signs of diabetes, heart problems, blood pressure problems, all of it, but they never mounted anything because I got into Shungite.
Right. Yeah, you shut that off real good. Right in the middle of not hearing a thing. That was cool. Beep. Oh,
Well,
that's funny.
my phone here, it only goes to voicemail because there's so many garbage thingies, So if somebody doesn't leave a voice message, it's a machine. They don't leave, machines don't leave messages. Did you, oh gosh, I put up yesterday or Monday on Cosmic Reality Radio. I do on Mondays. I just take other people's YouTubes basically and put them up so people can get used to the fact that we're not the only people saying this. There's an awful lot of other people saying it. And some of them much better than I. I go to them for the information. But there was this funny, it was 16 minutes. It was a little tedious, but it was really funny. Because have you gotten the IRS call to your phone?
No.
This is the IRS and there's a warrant out for your arrest?
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
No.
Now, if you got half a brain, you're going to panic because they said IRS, right? Okay. But, if you got another half of your brain working, you go, wait a minute, this doesn't sound right. And so most people will hang up but the thing of it is that this one guy, they said it was the IRS, a warrant out for your arrest, and left a phone number. So he calls this number. And it's the recording of him talking to these people and how they just sucker you into paying, thousands of dollars to make this go away. And he was just playing the dumb person, the person that, well, my aunt's next door neighbor fell for it. $5,000. He paid him $5,000. And then he thought to go to a lawyer. Not smart at all because it's gone,
Right.
But anyway, what was so funny about the thing is that she finally gets to a point where she's trying to get his information to be able to okay the credit to get his money. And she says to him, where are you employed? And he said, well, I'm self-employed. Well, what do you do? Oh, well, I'm a tax attorney. And all of a sudden it's like, and then you see him, really working her. And it was just too funny. But it gives you an indication of, please, people, if the IRS calls you, they never make a phone call.
Right.
You do not get a warrant out for your arrest. I mean, this is just unbelievably con job, but apparently people fall for it because I've gotten the call a couple times.
Well, I always get the emails that supposedly I have some inheritance, send them $75, $80.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think so. Why don't you send it to me, and then it states to the beneficiary, and I'm like, but going, and whose name is on this beneficiary? I'm not going to start giving out my name and all that. Yeah, routing
I hope
number,
there's a special place in hell for these people.
I'm sure there is. one way
they
or
can
the
scam.
other.
They can scam each other. Of course, we've all been scammed, and they say that it's harder to convince somebody that they've been scammed than to scam them.
I don't doubt that.
I
But who would want to waste that effort? But then I guess some are born to have that effort, and it's a good thing some of us are smart enough to see through it and to clarify, classify, and identify.
So here we are, almost into Christmas, and probably you haven't. Well, you've got the Christmas tree happening. The people across the street put up some lights in their window. It's a real low energy Christmas time, is it? Or am I just not in the groove of it?
No, most of the stores I've gone into are not busy. There's people, supposedly living on FEMA barges from Hawaii, and it's like a prison, and that supposedly somebody saw a fisherman was witnessing this, to where they had cargo units on these barges, and that supposedly there were people in them and they were dropping them in the Pacific Ocean. That's scary. Yeah, I know, right? I'm not there. I don't know, but yeah, humanity has seemed to have been bamboozled into believing that we're supposed to look outside ourselves for help. You know what I mean? Because help will come to you, just like gosh, why can I not think of Derek's name? Got what he needed for the future, not just what we think we have to have in the present. And, they gave the Native Americans smallpox blankets. Who are you going to trust, people? Oh my gosh. It's like I'm very thankful I'm getting my widow's benefits, but my gosh, I don't want anything else from them. Be right back.
Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, and we'll be right back after this message.
What the heck is the truth, Jihad? Hey, I'm Kevin Barrett, host of Truth Jihad Radio. Federal prosecutors, Department of Homeland Security agents, and curious passersby often ask me, just what is this truth jihad thing anyway? Well, everybody knows what truth is, but jihad is a misunderstood term. Jihad means effort or struggle. The greater jihad is the struggle to be a better person, while the lesser jihad is the struggle to defend the community. Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, did say that the best jihad is a word of truth flung in the face of a tyrant. And that's what we do here at Truth Jihad Radio. Every Friday, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, 5 to 7 Pacific, right here on Revolution Radio.
We talk about decentralization and then annihilation. Bitcoin, Litecoin, MyCoin, Your Coin, blockchain, baby. Mondays at 1600 hours Eastern, Studio A.
Find some comfort at Willow's World. A variety of news, commentary and poetry at Willow's Poetry Corner, where there are comfy cushions and a tempting selection of delectable comestibles. a show that's quirkily and quintessentially British, with a unique twist, featuring Willow Andreasen, your host. Join Willow Mondays and Thursdays, 2 till 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Studio A.
Do you or someone you know suffer from poor circulation, shortness of breath, or chest pains? Are you looking for a more natural solution to help overcome these problems? People tell us that after just a few months taking Extendivite, their doctors have noticed unexplainable improvements in their overall health. For more information, visit heartdrop.com or call 1-877-928-8822.
The Pet Rock of 2018-19
And tell them Nighthawk sent you, because if you call this number and tell them Nighthawk sent you, you'll get $5 off your first order at extendivite.com. The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and FreedomSlips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, FreedomSlips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to...
I think it's a great idea to drum up money, and he's been dealing with this company for years. And we also have where people could rent a banner and help us out too. There's all kinds of ways to help us out, but I gotta now shut myself off. I gotta get a time clock with seconds and everything on, because it really irritates me. It's like,
don't you have a phone? Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah, but it doesn't have seconds on it, I don't believe, or does it?
We'll check to see if you got a timer.
I got to touch. Oh, that's a thought. Because I shut everything off except the phone and the text. So
I use that timer, and I use the alarm system.
I guess, gallery, or no, it's not gallery, it's settings. Okay. And it'd be what?
Well, you don't need to do it now, Mona.
Oh, okay, well, I'm just... well, yeah, I'm learning. Okay, we don't have to go there now. But my phone doesn't get hot, and I know it's because of the Band-Aid. And, of course, I put it on speaker every time I use it, because I don't want it up to my head, even if I am talking. So.
Well, one of the things that when he sent me the wall, the electric outlet covers,
right?
I had the phone right next to me, and I had the outlet cover, and I put them together. Oh my God, the energy was just so sweet. I loved it. So I told him, I said, I want you to make a caddy for these phones, so that you come into your office and you stick the thing in the caddy, and your phone is there. It's accessible and everything, but you don't have to. The whole time it's on, it's radiating you with shungite energy. Yeah. So I don't know what he's come up with, but he's come up with something. So we're going to be introducing a phone caddy.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I've got my my electric outlet cover taped to my phone. That's how impressed I was with it,
Oh, that's funny. But you would feel that. A lot of people don't even recognize what they're feeling.
No, but they would with the muscle testing, and that's why I'm pushing muscle testing.
Well, I'm ready to paint microwave doors. Gosh, how much for a quick shipment overnight of the paint?
Well, I don't know that. You see, again, you're dealing with, okay, you can attenuate the signal, but microwave signals are dangerous in and of themselves, even if they're attenuated. That's why 5G can't be allowed to be put in. Can I change the signal with shungite? Yes, but it's still damaging.
Right.
When you're talking about 4G, the technology of the Wi-Fi right now, when you attenuate it, it's still a energy field that is hitting your body. So that's why I suggest to people that you need the pendant that's wire wrapped, because that produces a orgone flow through your body, through the pendant. The pendant's accelerating everything that's happening and balances your bioelectromagnetic field, because even though you're not being counter hit with signals that are rotating the wrong way, but you're still getting hit with a lot of not normal energy.
Right.
It's throwing you out in a bioelectromagnetic concept. So the wrapped pendant will bring you back into that, that balance. And so that's one of the reasons that you know, the S4, the cosmic S4, or the cosmic, I don't know what we're calling it, the cosmic shungite saturated, structured. Because when you pound it, you actually structure it. The molecules line up in a different way. It's more like a laser than an incandescent light, like your light bulb, you know, an incandescent light.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we got a lot of versions up there, and he's always got new ideas and new ways of thinking about things. It's totally amazing to see somebody who when he got to the job, I mean, he was a correctional officer for 16 years.
Right.
And he'd been a deep diver, you know, one of these people in all the equipment and, you know, diving into oil spills. And I mean, just, he was in the military. He'd been in a whole bunch of different types of jobs that I knew about. But then as I'm starting to work with him,
you okay?
No, I stopped. I was reading something. See, Dolly sends me messages, and if I don't read them, I forget that she sent them. So remind me, I got to look at it.
Please modify your shungite listing to add the wall plates.
Well, it's there. I gave her the links, but we do have to try to figure out why I had so much trouble with it. I'll look at it. Thank you, Dolly.
Yeah, I listened to our past show too. We had a blast.
The what, huh?
When I was out of Wi-Fi for the week.
Oh! You
I'm
were listening.
so glad. Yeah, I was listening to the Dolly and I show. It was great.
Yeah. I have so much fun on the Say What show. I mean that show, the Saturday show with Jan Shaw and the Say What show, they're just fun shows. You know, Jan's guests are incredible. She just has a knack for getting these people, and she was going to leave. She was going to take some time off. She was going to go to England, and then things over in England started getting a little iffy. And at the same time that happened, I had somebody contact through the radio contact on cosmicreality.com asking to be a guest on Jan's show.
Aww.
So I said, Jan, are you sure you want to leave? You know, and she went, no, I'm not. So she came back before she actually left. This was the bottom line. And I'm so grateful because every one of her guests has an important, you know, the thing you walk away with after listening to her for over a year and her guests,
right,
is that they're all saying basically the same, using the same matrix of a reality, but they're all going at it slightly differently.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I see life. You know, we all have our versions of what's the perfect reality, but they're all slightly different.
I'd rather it be that way.
Oh yeah, because, you know,
Shoosh. Most people couldn't handle it, and that's only because I don't hold on to things, and they've been so trained to hold on to things, and things that here's a beginning, then there's an end, and it's not that way. Everything rolls over into something else.
Yeah, it's a very interesting reality that we're in. It's a new paradigm switch. I mean,
so how'd the fundraiser go?
Oh, it didn't go very well, to be honest. I mean, I don't understand why people don't donate. I warned him. I said, my experience in donations is that they just don't donate. You get some that are loyal donators, and you get most people that know somebody else can do it. And I know that they've had some really good successes with some types of fundraisers, but I think you have to work really hard to get people to give their money up. So it didn't work as well as it should have, and especially because it's such a critical problem. It's the bees.
Right.
But that's okay because, we've got Cosmic Reality Shungite LLC is basically sponsoring the Shungite Beehive Project. So if we can't get assistance with the donations, then we just spend more money from the company in doing whatever is necessary to get it done.
Right.
We've not hesitated to do everything that we're now in a profit, company, but all we want is enough to be secure in our own 3D realities. And the rest of it is really dedicated to expanding people's knowledge of EMF and Wi-Fi problems and the bees dying and the sixth extinction event, which is all the insects are dying.
Yeah.
And we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But all we can do is what we're here to do and being guided to do and being very much assisted to do, and that's get Shungite to the masses.
Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. I love doing my part on that. I really do, because I know it helps. That's the whole blessed thing.
And everybody remember, I do have it up now. If you have a problem, just go to the contact page and contact me. But Mona Kit, all in capitals, MONAKIT. And you get 10% off the environmental kit. But whatever you spend there, 15% of it will be sent to our friend Mona, who has been such a great supporter of us. And now we're in a position to be able to pay back some of what we definitely feel that we owe you for all that you've done for us.
Oh, yeah, I've loved it. Oh, my mat. All I could think of is the mat. Oh, I love it. There isn't anything that I don't love about the Shungite. And I do wish others could get more of a thrill out of it, too. And they will, and they are. It's getting all vibrational time. I mean, I see some good moments, so I know it's available, and I'm going to keep on going and doing it. Yep. Because once they taste the change in the water, because one of the housemates was telling me something about somebody had MS, and I'm like, well, why don't you try this in the water and see what happens, right? And so instead, he put him in his water bottle, which was fine, because now his girlfriend tasted his water and went, oh my gosh, what is this? So now this young lady's interested in Shungite. And so now that it's Christmas, at least that's a plus, that some people are getting the recognition of it. So that's cool.
Well, every year for the first 4 Christmases that I went through, we had a drop in the sales. It wasn't so much a drop, but they certainly didn't increase, But this year, not so much. We've only gotten more and more orders, whether they're buying for Christmas or they're just buying because Derek's out there, pushing.
Well, and hopefully because they love themselves. I mean, people, this really does make a change in your existence. I mean, when Karen's machine was going wonkers, the sound was so bad, and she had to have this machine, little notepad, whatever they're called, for work. And she comes in, Mona, and I could hear her 3 rooms away, this little pad just going nuts electronically. And she says, I need a Band-Aid, I need a Band-Aid. And I'm like going, did you cut yourself? And no, she meant a Shungite Band-Aid. So we put the Shungite Band-Aid on it, and within seconds, the noise stopped, changed, and went away. So if that isn't proof and evidence that this does not, but what do you call it? Not acclimate, attenuate the energies into positive from negative. It's like I want to put them on all these men's blowers and mowers during the summer.
Well, actually, that's something that we have not pushed, and it's partially just because I wasn't focused on it, but also because we didn't have an easy fix to it. But we've finally identified a rubber tape that we're going to use to make stickers so that you can put it on your equipment. All your electric equipment is so dirty. Your drills, your power saws, anything that's got an engine in it, your lawnmower.
Oh.
All of this stuff needs stickers on them. I'm sorry that I didn't anticipate that it would be like this, but it is. There's never enough shungite. But now we've got these. We just discovered the rubber tape, so we're going to make it so that people can just put them on, and they're not going to deteriorate, and they're, you don't have to worry about them.
Sweet.
So, yes. Because that's a very big problem that people.
Oh, it is. They go nuts. The men go nuts, and I don't know why they enjoy it. Because they do. I mean, it's like, oh, I gotta mow, even though I mowed 2 days ago. I gotta mow. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're trying to find some emotion or feeling that they just didn't know they could have, and they're just trying to recognize that they have emotions and feelings after decades of it being beaten out of them.
Well, the mowing is a very cathartic kind of thing to do, because so many days I go and I say, what did I did today? Well, I did this little thing and this little thing and this little thing, but it doesn't stand out and say, hey. But when you mow your lawn, not only do you have a lawn that looks like it's mowed, but it smells so fresh and lovely. It's a real, you did a good job, Nance. You just mowed the yard. But I'll tell you something. The thing that saved me was I finally took the bait and said, I'm going to get one of these new electric machines. It was expensive, but what happens now is instead of worrying about gas and the plug and the oil, right, I go over and I push a button and pull a lever, and it comes on. It's got as much energy as any lawnmower I've ever used. It just has made mowing a lawn so much better, because I'd get out there and I'd clog, and I'd get so frustrated with that damn thing that it wasn't any fun. This is fun. Push the button, So save up your money and buy yourself an electric one. They have gotten to the point where they're very competitive with gas.
Good.
And I got the shungite stickers all over it.
There you go.
All the batteries have.
Everybody should have the shungite stickers.
Yeah.
Well, and if you donate, is it still the same with Haggy Shack? You donate $30 to Haggy Shack, you get 3 of the S4 stickers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, I like that idea, too. That you can help other people out. How is Colleen? I miss Colleen.
Well, she's not doing really well, because they made that move and everything, but she's having carpal tunnel type of problems. So she hasn't gotten back into producing and doing the things that she normally would. I don't know what's going to happen, tell you the truth.
Oh, no. Huh. I'll have to contact her. Yeah, she hasn't really been on the computer at all.
No, because it's painful.
Right. You said you think it's carpal tunnel, but it could be.
Well, that's what she said.
Fibromyalgia, which is still another nerve tendon ugly kindness. Like arthritis, like rheumatoid arthritis, is so sad to see. But I'm sure if we doesn't she have shungite water?
I don't even go there with it. It's like whatever.
Well, because turmeric would help, and all kinds of other things like that. Go ahead.
You did hear about Wolf Spirit closing down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have any knowledge as to what's happening? I mean, are these shows going someplace else or nothing? Just boom.
Not my discretion to have kept up to find out. Nope. Yeah. No, as soon as any change was made, I made the change along with the ride. I didn't and because of the one thing, and that just turned me completely off, and I can't. I know fake and I know real. That's why I still have Nancy Hopkins as my friend here. So. And
Onaka just asked another question regarding the ultraviolet on the tape. I don't know. Good question.
It's all an experiment, man. Hold on, we'll get you.
No, but he's got a point. Oh, when I was in the grenade,
ultraviolet's not the same anyway. But go ahead.
What did he say? Ultraviolet, or did he say something else?
Yeah, the UV ultraviolet.
Yeah. When we were making a piece for the grenade launcher, it was made out of a kind of rubber thing, but the amount, the differences in all these different rubbers that you could buy, no pun intended here, it was amazing. It was like the stuff we finally used was tested by the government to be able to go down minus 30 degrees Celsius, and I mean, it was just like crazy. But he's right, because one of the things that we had that's always a consideration is the UV. They break down pretty fast if they're not UV protected. We'll see.
The way things go, I mean, between the chemtrails, the radiation, etc., just buy an extra spare if you have to too. But yeah, Nancy, bring that across the boys and see what the boys come up with.
Well, you'll know what's it's specified. I learned all sorts of things about when you're in the manufacturing business. There's different criteria for different stuff, so you had to learn, what makes this metal hard versus soft. What do you need it? Do you need it soft for this project or hard? I mean, it's like, oh my God, it was so much I had to learn about just manufacturing in general and meteorologically to learn at least how to kind of like sound like I knew what I was talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Learn the vocabulary.
All right, the slang.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, they're talking about hardness, and at least I know basically what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. Not that I understood anything after the word hardness, but I'm pretty good at making people think I know more than I know. I'm very practiced at it.
But Walt's got so many toys and tools. New paradigm, what?
Tools.
Yeah.
Plural.
So if anybody's looking for anything different, because I never saw the resonator before, and it's like, oh, that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, that was the first thing that he made, actually, was Shungite.
Well, now that I've gotten to know more about the orgone and stuff by listening to your Tuesday shows, it's really rather interesting, because no wonder we weren't taught it in school. We'd all be protecting ourselves against the programming that they've shoved down our throats and up our rear ends. So we are not allowing any more of that. No more contracts. That's another great conversation, the contracts.
Well, 2019 is going to be interesting, that's for sure.
So, yes, I believe it. I really do believe it. Because all the secrets have been let out. Let's see where they go. Oh, and I wish I would have seen the picture of when Hillary got her pamphlet for the funeral, or whatever you call it. I mean, that was great last night, hearing that going, that would have been funny if she got subpoenaed at the funeral.
Well, it was in the program. And I said, right. Yeah, it was so funny because, okay, she opens up the program and this envelope falls out. And so she just very nonchalantly opened it up and started pulling it out. And then just as nonchalantly put it back in. So whatever she saw was something very obvious that she didn't have to read or think about.
Right.
And she put it back in. And I was aware that she seemed to be just very nonchalant about it. But that could have been Hillary's complete control, you know?
Yeah, like when Little Bush and the towers fell. Yeah, right.
what was so funny about it was Jimmy Carter was sitting next to Hillary, and he happened to be seeing her find this envelope in his program. And so he immediately starts shuffling through his program looking for it, right? And then sitting behind Hillary was Biden. And Biden all of a sudden starts freaking out. And he was so animated that you could read his lips.
Oh, my.
Okay, you couldn't hear what he was saying, but you could read his lips. And Hillary's turned around now because they're in a church environment, you know, pew type thing. Right. And she's turned around, and he's like, what is this all about? You know, and he was like, you know, looking at her like, you're the one that's, what is this all about? And so you got to wonder what Jimmy Carter, because he must have heard that commotion. It was right behind him, thought about what was happening in and around him. It was
yeah, you're definitely gonna have to go and do a remote viewing with that.
Well, that's an idea.
Well, it's just we want to see justice, right?
Right. I just don't know. It's one of those, I mean, the thing about the stories is there's so many stories that you really don't get the punchline to. It's like there's 10,000 jokes out there, and we haven't heard the punchlines yet.
I know, right? Oh, God.
It's an interesting place we are in. That's all.
And we forgot we were in line to get to the auditorium, right? Oh, gosh. It is what we think it is, Miss Nancy.
Yes, ma'am. It's a peculiar place.
And I feel very blessed, and I'm glad that you came on. Because to me, this is important that people know there is an out. Not always a complete answer, but little bits and pieces always help. And Shungite is one of those bits and pieces, so you're not totally under 3D attack. Oh, gosh. Oh.
It'll make a difference in your life.
It really does.
And it's money back guarantee. You know, if it doesn't work for you, then send it back.
But there is proof and evidence with her YouTube channel.
Well, with 4.5 years and customers totaling, I don't know, something like 5,000 people or more. Last time I think it was that. But people keep using it, and we've only had like 3 people that wanted their money back. And those 3 people were weird to begin with, you know. It was like, right. Okay. You know, that's the thing. So I think it's a pretty good testimonial that we've never questioned anybody, but people, if it doesn't work for them, they could send it back. But even if they might not think it's working for them, they don't want to take a chance and send it back in case it is.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Be safe. Be blessed.
Oh, you too, honey. Ditto, ditto. Really great show.
Radio at freedomslips.com.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank you, guys.
right back.
Yes, listeners.
Do you or someone you know suffer from poor circulation, shortness of breath, or chest pains? Are you looking for a more natural solution to help overcome these problems? People tell us that after just a few months taking Extendivite, their doctors have noticed unexplainable improvements in their overall health. For more information, visit heartdrop.com or call 1-877-928-8822.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
And tell them Nighthawk sent you, because if you call this number and tell them Nighthawk sent you, you'll get $5 off your first order at extendivite.com. Thank you. The opinions expressed on this radio station, its programs, and its website by the hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Revolution Radio and freedomslips.com, its staff, or affiliates. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host. freedomslips.com. And we'll be right back after this message. Thank you for listening to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Any commercial advertising you may hear in this program is of the sole discretion and benefit of the host of whose program you are listening to. Revolution Radio does not endorse any commercial products, nor does it accept monetary compensation for on-air advertising of commercial products, nor will it ever. We are and shall remain 100% listener supported. Any product advertising on this program are considered used at higher risk, and Revolution Radio shall not be held liable for any claims or damages received from